I want to start off by saying good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. My name is Reggie Robles. I use he, him, his pronouns, and I am the Leadership Development Coordinator.
Yes, hello everyone. I'll be the co-host here, and my name is Rogelio Contreras. I use he, him, his pronouns, and I serve as a coordinator for Project Success, which is our first year mentoring program and retention program for men of color.
We both will be your hosts for this afternoon. We prepared a jam-packed event for you all to know what the league is, what it has been doing all this time, and what it looks to do in the future. Before we begin, I want to let you know that you can definitely interact with us by using the reactions tab or by sharing a comment or your thought on the chat room. Please make sure that you do remain on mute throughout the program if you are not speaking so that we don't have any interruptions. Thank you so much. So now we would like to kick things off by turning it over to our president, Colleen, for some university remarks.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me, and I am just thrilled about the continuity of engagement that has been demonstrated through the Male Success Initiative. And I know you're getting ready for exams and end of the year, papers, and I just want to let you know that we're very proud of your persistence, your perseverance, the way in which you've adapted, and we know that there have been some challenges, but we have gone through this together, and this is just one more way of letting you know that we are here for you, and we want to hear from you. I know my husband, if he's not on yet, I know he's going to be joining us as well. He's enjoyed his time being a part of this important program. I also want to thank and recognize our Cal Poly Pomona faculty and our staff and administrators for their ongoing engagement and support. And thank you to, I believe, Bryant Smith is going to serve as a keynote speaker, and I want to thank Bryant for doing that. And also a special thank you to Kelly King, who is with the California Community Foundation, for joining us. The foundation is a critical ally, and we're grateful for their generous support. Most importantly, this is an opportunity for us to again recognize you, our Cal Poly Pomona students. And this is a program that's built on the power of mentorship. Mentorship, whether it's from faculty, staff, alumni, and members of the community. And it's also built on peer mentorship, that is students supporting each other. And I think that is so essential because you share the experiences, you share the challenges, and you share ways in which you have overcome or tackled difficulties. And so I applaud all of you for your consistent engagement. And I also hope that each of you understand the importance of your engagement to not only this program, but also as you go out and engage in other areas of the academic and student affairs community. You know, I found that there is nothing quite as impactful as learning that someone else is experiencing the same challenges as you are, because many times we think no one understands and no one has gone down this path. And I have found time and time again in my many years of living that just is not the case. People don't always talk about it, but we all have adversity, we all have challenges. And what we learn from one another, what I have had the benefit of learning from others, is how they addressed it, how they took that challenge and they were able to see a path forward. Adversity can feel terribly lonely, but when we engage with and help strengthen others, we're also lifted up. And I leave you with an affirmation of what you are accomplishing. In 1947, Martin Luther King, who was 18 years old at Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia, and he was addressing the utilitarian notion of education. And he wrote an essay titled "The Purpose of Education." And it first appeared in the campus newspaper. And Dr. King argued that education solely focused on the pursuit of gaining intelligence or only for one's own advancement is grossly incomplete. Instead, the goal of true education is intelligence plus character, which includes supporting and contributing to the well-being of others. He concluded that complete education gives one not only the power of concentration, but worthy objectives upon which to concentrate. And so I see this character and the worthy objectives in your own lives. And through your efforts to do well in your courses and be an example and mentoring others, you are demonstrating the true purpose of education. And I hope that your realization of this strikes you powerfully and motivates you to continue onward. And I want you to know that on behalf of the entire Cal Poly Pomona community, that I'm just so proud of you. And again, thank you for inviting me. I know you've got a full program. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to join you, and I'm going to be getting on another Zoom call with the fellow presidents in this region, along with Congresswoman Norma Torres. But I was so thrilled to have the invitation. And again, I'm so proud of all of you for who you are and what you are going to accomplish, not only here, but also when you leave us. So stay safe, stay healthy, and know that we care. Thank you again for this invitation.
All right, let's do a round of virtual claps there. Thank you again.
Yay!
All right, so thank you again, President Coley, for those meaningful and relevant words of wisdom. At this time, it is my great pleasure to introduce the vibrant and compassionate support behind the League, Bernardo Dargan, Interim AVP Dean of Students, and Dr. Blaylock, or known as Dr. B, Presidential Associate for Community Campus Partnerships and Student Experience, with opening remarks.
Oh, wow. So thank you so much, Rogelio. I tell you, you send me out to space every time. So thank you for that introduction. Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. And I have to tell you, I've been waiting on this day for some time. I am so excited. Dr. B and I talked last night, and I said, Dr. B, it feels like my first day of school, because I cannot wait for the clock to strike noon tomorrow, because we are just so committed and passionate about being able to support you all in your work and to see your development and growth. And there's nothing better to me to be able to do that. So, so thank you all so much for being here. I also want to acknowledge each of you as individuals. In my entire career, it's very rare to have a group of students and as many students to be so engaged and committed to a cause. And you all have showed up consistently. You're always here, even in those times when you're tired or not feeling like it, you show up. And so we really appreciate you showing up and for allowing us and entrusting in us that we're here to support you and we have your best interests at heart. I have a few acknowledgements. Dr. Coley just gave a few acknowledgements, but I do want to make sure that I add a few more. So if you'll bear with me just for a few minutes, because this is very important. I want to first acknowledge my colleague, Dr. B, Dr. Reggie B, who has been my partner in leading this effort. And he is definitely a strong advocate. And as many of you know, that you have had to come to him for all kinds of support in your greatest times of need, and he's always there to support you. And he's always been the same in supporting me as well. So Dr. B, thank you for everything you do, not only on behalf of our students, our faculty, and our staff, but you know, you're an OG in the Cal State University system. So, hey, thank you for everything you do. I also want to acknowledge the great work of our colleagues who is on the MSI working group. This group is a big part of the reason that we're able to do the things that we do on a daily basis. So I want to say to Curtis Carpenter, Lakeisha Beard, Tosh Bryant, Michael Page, Tyrese Vance, Pedro Navarro, Caleb Garcia, Mr. Ryan Coley, who has been with us this semester, Angie Masila and Rashonda Johnson. Thank you. In addition, another two important people who are part of the working group as well that I want to acknowledge now and who's leading our efforts today is Rogelio Contreras and Reggie Robles. Let's give them a round of applause because they put all this together for us today. Thank you. And so in addition, I also want to acknowledge our good friends and colleagues in the Division of Student Affairs on our ops team who are behind the scenes managing this Zoom experience today. And it is going to be an experience. I'm so excited. So I want to make sure that we acknowledge both Jason Liu and David Sedillo, who are both helping us with managing all of the work that we're putting in today, but also they have been so kind in the design. David has helped our design, and as many of you have gotten your swag in the mail. David is responsible for the design of our logo and the design of our shirts and all of the other swag items that we've gotten. So thank you so much to Jason and David. I also want to finally acknowledge again Brian Smith, who has been with us. It feels like the whole academic year. He came in January to support and assist us in with our working group with trying to help us to create and develop a clear vision for the Male Success Initiative. He was going to come and help facilitate if we were able to do our retreat. However, we know that COVID-19 came in and just kind of challenged us in different ways. And so we asked him, he was so gracious to be able to make adjustments to his schedule and join us today for the keynote. And he has also been with our students and I think did a presentation, I believe it was last week or the week before as well. And so Brian, we thank you for your continued support of our program. And last but certainly not least, I want to again acknowledge the California Community Foundation as they have been true champions and support. Not only, it's very rare sometimes for those of you who may not know this, but you know, oftentimes we receive financial support, right? And someone will write a check and that's a good thing. We need checks, right? However, they have been deeply involved and have really cared about what it is that we're doing. So they have not just thrown money at us and wanted to support us, but they also are genuinely concerned about the work that we are doing. And so to Kelly King and her colleagues who are on the call from the California Community Foundation, we applaud you and we thank you 10 times over for your ongoing support. And lastly, I will say to my good friend and colleague, Lynette Lozoya, who is on the call from Foundation, and I'm saying Foundation, I may be getting it wrong, I always screw it up, but she is the one who connected dots between our external partners and fundraising opportunities so we can have the things that we need to be successful. So Lynette, your support and your passion for the work that we do is unmatched, and we thank you and we appreciate you and all of your other colleagues who support us. So one other person I want to thank who is with us today and who is critically important, especially for our first year students, is Dr. Gilbert Cadena. Dr. Cadena is a true champion. He is our faculty person who support our project success students in their class. He's been a true champion of our work, and he hangs in there with us, even sometimes in the chaos. So Dr. Cadena, we thank you for your support of our program as well. I hope I did not miss anyone, but I will finally say to all of our other faculty, staff, colleagues who are joining us today, we thank you. I see you, Sep, I see John and others, and Leon, and I want to acknowledge you all as well. And also thank our Kin Group leaders. I think Dr. Pettigrew, Jonathan Pettigrew, I'm not sure if he's on the phone. I see Tony Quezada. And again, I'm looking at visually who I can see, so my apologies if I missed anyone. So thank you all again. And I will be quiet now and let Dr. B take the floor because I know he's gonna have a word for us. Dr. B.
Thank you, Dean Ben Dargan. You rock. You make the magic happen. Let me. I'm going to be brief. Ben's going to be long. I'm going to be the short one this time. I want to say this really quickly because I know President Coley. She may be stepping into another meeting right now, but I want to make sure we all understand that there's not very many presidents like Dr. Coley. When we started talking about this idea a few years ago about particularly males of color, when we were looking at the data in the CSU and looking at the data at Cal Poly Pomona, we could see clearly that our men of color in particular were not having the same kind of experience at Cal Poly as other students were in terms of graduation rates and continuation rates. And so President Coley started shifting the conversation from the achievement gap. You hear often people in education talking about the achievement gap. And we started the conversation, it was a little bit different. It wasn't about the achievement, because we know that all of our students, if you've been admitted to Cal Poly, you can get some things done academically. You're a good student, there's no question. So the conversation started shifting from achievement gap to really what it's about, which is opportunity gap. Because many of our male students of color in particular haven't had the opportunities at Cal Poly Pomona as other students from maybe more affluent communities have had. More students coming from families that may have more resources, they could study abroad, or they could do internships that aren't paid. They could do other things that many of our male students of color in particular don't have the opportunities because we may not have the same kind of resources. So we started shifting to where are the achievement gaps to where the opportunity gaps. And that's when we started talking about this particular program. But if you don't have a president that's committed to the students, all students, and by committed, I mean not just in words, but in resources, because it's going to cost some things. It's going to take some things to move this along. If you want to have talent, staff that Dean Dargan was just introducing, we got to have some talent around talent. The old saying, right? Iron sharpens iron. If you want to sharpen something really refined, you can't use a rock. You'll dull the blade. You need something refined to sharpen something refined. We need talent around talent. Every one of these students on this screen, right now we got 74. Every one of these students talented with tremendous ability. We need some talent sprinkled around them. And so as Dean Dargan started introducing Gilbert Cardina and some of the faculty and staff that's on this screen, this is some talent. This is a special time at Cal Poly Pomona. So I want to thank President Coley. I also want to thank, as Ben was thanking some of the student mentors. Our student mentors are an important part of the staff that builds and supports these conversations day in and day out. And I'm gonna say the names again: Reggie Robles and Rogelio Contreras. That's some talent. These colleagues are talented and they are good. You know, when Ben said Reggie talked about me, I'm one of the OGs in the CSU. That means old. Yeah, that stands for old guy, not original gangster, okay? Old guy in the system, right? So I'm finishing my 33rd year working in the CSU, and I love it. And I'm a CSU baby, right? I went to school in the CSU as well. And so our assessment person, Frances Keller, I think she's on here. And I do want to say this, because I look so good. I wish I was right in person. I wish you guys could see how good I look in my swag. I just love my shirt. It might be a medium, but I'm going to stretch the hell out of it. It's going to look good on me. I'm telling you right now. I love my shirt. I love my backpack. Okay. Oh, this way. Yeah, this way. See my logo? I love my backpack. And I love my pen. And let me tell you this. I've got no mail for the last month. Like literally, I get nothing in the mail. And when my box came, I like to jump through the window. I'm like, ha ha, my swag is here. I don't know about you, but I'm loving it. But I want to make sure you guys understand this. That didn't arrive in the mail by accident. Dean Dargan and Rogelio and some of the staff, they personally stuffed those boxes and took them to the mailbox. Not to the mailbox, to the mail drop. They drove to UPS or to the Federal Express personally to get those boxes in the mail so they can get to you in time for this program. So that's the kind of commitment behind the scenes. So I just want to say this about Dean Dargan. One of the things I've learned being old, right, is that you don't want to take for granted moments that you know you're never going to forget the rest of your life. Like I've learned as I've gotten older that when I'm having special moments that I'm never going to forget, I need to recognize that I want to make sure I'm in the moment. And I'm never going to forget the working relationship that I have with this dean. I'm never going to forget it the rest of my life. And I'm never going to forget this moment right now, looking at all of your beautiful faces on the screen. This is special. And this team decided and committed that despite the pandemic, despite all the things going on in the world and at our campus, we're committed to each and every one of you, and we're having our program. We're having our culminating activity because that's the kind of commitment that this team has to each of you. And so I just want to make sure that I recognize I'm never going to forget this the rest of my life. I'm never going to forget it. And I also want to say this as I'm finishing up so we can get to the program. The difference between what you say and what you do is what you get. Let me say it again, because I want to make sure our students get this. The difference between what you say and what you do is what you get. I had a parent ask me this a couple of days ago. Her student is in 11th grade, and she says, Dr. B, my student is getting C's and B's. What does he need to do to get A's and B's? I said, okay, let me break it down to you really quickly. Because I don't know the student, but let me ask the question. When he gets out of school, typically at 3 o'clock, between 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, he's got 6 hours. How is he spending his time? And so she said, well, he's doing PlayStation for about 2.5 hours. He eats for about 30 minutes, and then he does his homework. I said, how much time is on his homework? She said, probably about 45 minutes to an hour. I said, okay, great. So what he's doing is he's majoring in PlayStation, and he's going to get his A's in PlayStation. He's going to be excellent in PlayStation, but he's going to be average in his schoolwork. Because I know what you said, and if the student said, hey, Mom, I really want to get A's. I know what he said, but let me show you what he's doing. And the difference between what he said and what he's doing is what he's getting. Because if you reverse it and put the majority of his time in homework and less time in PlayStation, he'll be doing better. So my point I'm saying to you is, you said, I'm committed to me. I'm committed to doing better. I can do better. I am a leader. I'm beginning to see myself as a leader and developing leadership skills. You made the commitment to yourself, to each other, and to this institution. So the difference between what you said, because that's what you said, and now this is what you're doing. So what you're going to get is something special as a result of your experience at the institution. So that's what this is about. Every one of us on the screen could think of at least one friend or colleague that could be on the screen, that should be on the screen. We can think of somebody, but they're not there. And the difference, again, between saying it and doing it oftentimes leads to a result. So I congratulate you. I celebrate you all. I honor all of you this afternoon as leaders. And sometimes we say leadership, but you'll hear me often saying leadership, because you are shaping your present and you are shaping your future, and I appreciate it. So thank you so much, guys. So happy to see you this afternoon. Ben, Brother Dargan, Dean Dargan, my man, I appreciate you and I appreciate this team. Congratulations to all of you. I'm celebrating you. So much love to each of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. B, for those powerful words and reminder that we're all sharp. We just need a little bit of a sharpen here and there. So next, we have a special collection of media from brotherhood events, gatherings, and conference opportunities that students have led or participated this past year. This video also serves as a glimpse of the opportunity yet to come. Let's review the quality experiences of the year.
It's really about the people that you know. And at conferences like this, you get to meet a lot of like-minded, motivated people that want to change the world just like you.
I'm blown away, honestly. I got so much out of this conference. I think I never really thought much about being a leader. People told me, Kyle, you could be a leader, you know, but it never really was something that resonated with me. But after this conference, it's something, I realized that it's something that I could definitely see as a passion.
Wow. Just simply wow. What a great video. I want to thank David Cedillo for putting that piece together for us. I would now like to introduce our keynote speaker for this event. So Bryant K. Smith is a man with a vision. He is an expert in identifying, cultivating, and maximizing human potential. For more than 2 decades, Bryant's work has been at the forefront of assisting businesses, athletic and educational institutions recruit, train, and retain top talent. His inspirational keynotes, engaging seminars, and insightful coaching deliver measurable results, improve communication and performance, and changes lives for the better. Brian is the author of 9 books, including a social commentary on race relations in the United States entitled #BlackNotBlind, a book about the power of human potential entitled 5, and 4 books on male development. Founder of the Remix Hip Hop Leadership Institute, president and CEO of Smith Can, a comprehensive consulting and training company. Brian K. Smith is a highly sought-after lecturer known for his ability to get his audience to critically think about complex issues, find their purpose, and make a difference in the world. So without further ado, I'd like to ask Brian to take it away with a wonderful keynote.
All right, Reggie. If I didn't know myself, I wouldn't know who you were talking about. I want to say thank you for that introduction, but I have one complaint. Oh, I'm sorry, not a complaint. I have a concern. Whose idea was it to make me speak after the great Dr. Blaylock? I don't know how I can top that. I just don't know what I can say that's going to beat anything that he said. So it's a good thing I did not prepare a speech. So let me start by saying thank you to the league. I want to again thank Dr. Coley because Dr. Blaylock is right. I travel. This is what I do for a living. I can count on one hand the number of places I've gone where a president has made time to come and speak at a culminating event or any event involving men of color. So this is a special president you all have, whose commitment has been evident from the beginning. And I want you to really take note of that. And if you get a chance to drop her an email that just says, thanks, we appreciate you, please do so. Along the lines of the thank you, of course, Reggie Robles, Dr. Blaylock, Rogelio, and Bernardo Darden, Rashonda, the MCI committee, the California Commission, everybody who has contributed to making this group, this program possible. I just want to say thank you, because I know, again, at this particular time, doing something for men of color is not fashionable, it's not cool, it's not in season. This is something you have to have a commitment to, that you care about. It's a passion, it's a calling, and I feel it every time I've been on your campus, and I'm so appreciative of you all having me come back. Now, having got the formalities out of the way, like I said, I don't want to waste your time at your culminating event by giving you a speech. So is it okay if I tell you a story? I want to share a story with you. Actually, it's an allegory, so you got to pay attention, because if you don't, you're going to miss the lessons, although I'm going to kind of give you a recap. Now, what you may not know about this little black boy from the south side of Chicago is that I am a proud product of the Chicago public school system. And like my brother, Dr. Blaylock there, I want to tell you a story about one of our neighbors. Well, he was my neighbor, now he's your neighbor. You've probably heard of this guy. His name's Kanye West. Maybe you're familiar with him. He lives around you guys now. He doesn't live in my town anymore. Although he does have enough money, he probably got houses all around the world. But let me tell you the story about Kanye. Now, what you may not know about Chicago, unless you've been, is that some of our neighborhoods have very narrow streets. And when you drive down these narrow streets, we park on both sides of the streets, because we don't have garages for most of the people, particularly if you live near an apartment complex or a housing project or a duplex. You don't have a garage, enough garage space to park every car. So we park on both sides of the street, which makes the street even narrower. So it was one particular day, Kanye decides, hey, I'm going to cruise the old neighborhood. I got a little money now. So he jumps in his Mercedes. Yeah, I don't know which number it is, but it's the big one. He jumps in that Mercedes and he's driving down this side street. And unfortunately, he's driving a little fast. He's driving way too fast to be going through this narrow side street. And he's going on. He's got his sounds kicking because he's checking out this new mix he's made. And he's driving. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, bam, a brick hits that Mercedes. Kanye jams on the brake and he jumps out of his car. And he looks at the front and he sees this dent in the side of his Mercedes. Oh, and he is livid. I mean, he is mad. So he's looking around trying to figure out who threw the brick, and he goes over to the sidewalk and he sees this little kid standing there. And he just goes off and did you throw that brick in my car? And the kid's like, oh, yes, Mr. West, I threw the brick. And he's like, oh, you, and he lets him have it with a bunch of 4-letter words that I can't say even on Zoom. And he's going off and he's going off and he's telling this kid, where's your mother? Where's your father? You can't afford to fix my car. I can't believe you tore up my car. You put a dent in my car. And at this point, the kid's almost in tears. And Kanye kind of stops and looks at him. And the kid says, I'm sorry, Mr. West. I'm really sorry. But my mother sent us to the store, my brother and I. And on our way to the store, my brother fell out of his wheelchair. And I couldn't get him back in the wheelchair. And I've been standing out here all this time trying to get some people to stop to help me get my brother back in his wheelchair so we can go to the store for my mother. But no one would stop. And so I made up my mind that the next car that came past, I was going to throw a brick at it and make it stop. And it just so happened that was your car. And Kanye's looking and he's like, I don't know if I should believe this kid or not, but at the corner of his eye, he looks and he sees. Sure enough, there's a wheelchair on the ground, and there's this kid's big brother leaned up against the wheelchair, but he can't get back in it. So now Kanye feels about this small. And if you know Kanye, his head is this big. So for him to feel this small, that takes a lot. And he goes over to the kid and he picks up the wheelchair and he puts the brother back in the wheelchair and he's looking at the kid and he doesn't really say, I'm sorry, but he's feeling sorry. So he says, you know what? Let me do something for you. Puts the kids, both of them in his car, and he drives them to the store. And then whatever list that the mother had given him to get from the store, Kanye buys everything. He buys all kind of stuff, takes them back home, drops them off, gives them all the stuff, and then he drives off. But when he gets home, he looks at that dent in his car and he makes a decision. He says, I'm not going to have this fixed. I'm going to keep this dent in my car. Now, for most of you, that's the story. There it is. Kanye keeps a dent in his car. He got hit with a brick. Ta-da! End of it. Celebrate, right? Yay! No. There's some lessons we got to discuss. Now, if you were listening and paid any attention to the story, how many characters were in the story? Were there 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe? Okay, you probably thinking 4. How about there were 7? If you were thinking 4, you thought mother, little brother, big brother, and Kanye. That's 4. You forgot about the car, the brick, and there's one more. The dent. Now let me talk to you and break this down for you. See, let's start with the mother. The mother sent her 2 sons to the store. You mean the mother who needed something, but for whatever reason decided it wasn't for her to go get, but the sons had to go get it. She sent them to the store. See, many of you have come to Cal Poly because you were sent to go get something that your mother or your father or your grandmother knew you needed. You needed to get it for the family to move forward and move on, to be able to sustain itself and to grow, just like she sent her kids to the store to get something for the family. Next, there's old Kanye. Yeah, there is Kanye. Kanye represents everything that you want. It's sort of the reason that you went to Cal Poly. You want that new life. You want everything. You want to be this superstar. You want to have a legacy. You want the beautiful spouse. All of these things that Kanye has, you can see yourself having it. And then there's that car. The car is the material side. You want to have enough money, not to just live comfortably, but you want to live glamorously. You want the fabulous life. You want to have it all. But the strange thing about the car and Kanye is a product of his choices and his experiences. You can't let your experiences define you. You can't let your experiences be the only reason that you don't or do make good or bad choices. You got to be able to look beyond that. Likewise, you can't say that I want this material stuff so much and so bad that I am willing to do anything to anyone, walk over, step over, kick down, jump on, crush anyone just to get it. So we keep moving on. We get to the little boy. The little boy represents the league. Not the league with your membership, but the organizers of the league. Everyone from the faculty to the committee who put it together to the mentors, they are the league. See, you almost missed this. The league represents a little boy because that little boy was creatively determined to do what his mother asked him. She asked him to go to the store, and along the way, they hit an obstacle. The brother fell out of the wheelchair, just like you. You're determined to do what you've been asked. You go to Cal Poly, but you hit this obstacle. COVID-19 comes in. Just like that man gets knocked out of his wheelchair, you've been hit. You're down on the ground, but the little boy, the league, is here to pick you back up. And if the league can't pick you back up, they're going to make sure that they stop somebody to get you the help that you need so that you can be picked up. So that's what we're doing with the league. Next, you got the big brother himself. Now you're sitting there, you're going, well, mom knew the big brother was in a wheelchair when she sent him to the store. But she also knew it was her job to challenge him, to make sure that he stretched himself, that he never let the wheelchair be a limitation. How many of you came to Cal Poly and you had something that you thought was a limitation? Whether it was, I don't know, maybe my father's not in the house. Maybe we don't have all of the finances and resources I thought we had. Oh, maybe I have to work so much. Maybe I've had a bad experience with teachers in high school. Maybe there's racism or sexism or whatever it is that's been attacking me, and I have this. But my mom sent me because she knew I was capable, that things may be difficult, but that doesn't mean they're impossible. She also knew that you were determined as the big brother to achieve what she had, not only for yourself, but for the rest of the family. Then she gave you all of these things, knowing that in your time of need, you're going to be smart enough to seek help and to be patient. That brother, he tried to get himself back in the wheelchair. He never gave up. He knew that help was eventually going to come his way, and he waited. Now let's get to that brick. You never know when a brick is coming. That brick came out of nowhere, and many of you, you look at that brick and you go, oh, this is a terrible thing. I got hit with a brick. Well, no, the brick is a good thing. Guess what the brick is for you when you participate in the league? The brick is the swag. That's right. We got this swag, and as Dr. Blaylock said, I got my swag and my bag and everything. The brick is the one thing that hit you upside your head that made you say, yeah, I'm going to give this league thing a chance. Because to be honest, many of you are like, well, I don't think I want to join another group until they start talking about the swag. The swag could be the internship. The swag could be money to go to events. The swag could be the free plane ride to go to a conference. The swag could be the shirt or the bag. The swag is the opportunities and all those things that are going to come. And until you heard that there was going to be some swag, you were not connected to the league. But that brick came and hit you, and now that you've been hit with the brick, you got a dent. And the dent is in your heart and in your head. Now you have a dent, and you got to decide, is the dent a bad thing or a good thing? What am I going to do with this dent? Am I going to forget it because it's summer and I don't need the league now? Let me repeat that. I know, I wish we were in a live audience so I could hear y'all cheering for me, because I know that's what's going on. I know you got this swag going on, and now you got to make a decision. Now that I got the t-shirt, now that I got the bag, and I got a little money in my pocket, and I've had the trip to the conferences, what am I going to do? Am I going to just chill and revert to being the old me? Am I going to just hang out with the homies in the hood and act like I'm not a college student, I'm not a part of the league? Or am I going to use this swag to remind me that to those of us who much is given, much is due, and much is expected? And I'm going to retain my active membership in the league. And it's simple things. I'm going to call some of the league brothers in the summertime and check on them and see how they're doing. I'm going to check in with my advisors and send them an email to let them know things are all right. And I'm looking forward to when school comes back and I can see you in person. These are little things that you want to do to keep yourself connected to the league. Now, we still got one more character to deal with. We got to deal with that car. Now that car, like I said, in the future, and you see yourself, we all see ourselves in the biggest and the best. But Vince Lombardi, who's a legendary football coach, he said it best when he said, success only comes before hard work in the dictionary. When you want that level of success, when you want that car, you got to be willing to put in the work that it takes to do it. The car is just a symbol. It's nothing more. Don't get so focused on the car and the material things that you lose sight on what it means to be educated. See, I grew up in an era where we used to send monkeys into space. We would just put you on a capsule and shoot you up there because we recognized monkeys could just push enough buttons to get up and come back. That's not a sign of an educated person. We want you to do more than the minimum. We expect you to do more than the minimum because you want more than the minimum. I am so glad and proud to be here, to stand here before you today on this Zoom call and let you know that the power that you have is right here. We're not concerned about how much wealth you bring to campus. We're not concerned about the way you dress. We're not concerned about any of that. We're concerned about your mind. We want you to come in and we want you to get the information that you get and not just graduate, because see, the degree doesn't make you educated. It's what you do with the degree, how you use it when you leave this place. We want you to get it, but we want you to be a positive reflection when you use it, so that that car, people see that on the outside, but they recognize, man, as nice as that car is, that's nothing compared to how nice the person driving it is. They're Cal Poly. They're the league. They did the thing. Now, as I get ready to close, I hope you picked up on that, all of the lessons in the allegory, but if you didn't, let me just help you out. The biggest lesson in that whole story is, don't let a brick hit you before you remember who you are and why you are supposed to be here. You are never too good to give back. The league is setting you up so that you can help yourself and you can help those who haven't even stepped on campus yet. Everything that you do will determine what happens to the people who come behind you. I want you to know that. And I will leave you with the words of Dr. Benjamin E. Mays, who is Dr. Martin Luther King's mentor. Dr. Mays said the following: if you are ignorant, the world will cheat you. If you are weak, the world will whoop you. And if you are a coward, the world will keep you running. I know that none of those things apply to you because you are the league. You are the league. You are the league. And I look forward to your greatness. Thank y'all very much. Have a pleasant summer and great job kicking off this inaugural league class. Peace.
Wow. And the motivational content continues. Thank you very much, Brian Smith, for those words. The allegory, I think it's very applicable to all of us in these times. So unfortunately, we're not united in one physical location to be able to do an interactive icebreaker and team builder, which people normally scoff at anyway. So in spirit of social distancing, we're including this interactive segment to stimulate your Zoom fatigue, because I know we're all Zoomed out. So at this moment, if you're able to, everyone's welcome to contribute to the word cloud activity, but we ask you to go to menti.com and enter the 6-digit code that you see on the screen. So again, if you have the capability to open a new tab, or if you have your phone, you should be able to open a browser. Go to menti.com and use the code 764375. And again, this should be visible on the screen in front of you. So please log in. And we have 2 questions this afternoon. So for the first question, with one word, communicate how you feel with your decision to join the league. So again, you're talking about your decision to join. So not how you felt preliminary when you were about to join the league, but after the fact, how do you feel? So I'm seeing words like blessed, empowered, and again, just in case anyone's not familiar with the word cloud, the words that are emphasized the most are the most submitted words on this word cloud. So it looks like blessed seems to be the greatest feeling, but we see others. We see amazing, empowered, proud, motivated, thrilled, helpful, hopeful, honored, happy, solidarity. These are all great words, descriptors on how you feel. Inspired, hopeful, okay, empowered, great. So maybe a couple more seconds. Meanwhile, you submit your answers. I see bold, hyped, most definitely. After all these motivational speakers, I felt like they were talking to me for a second. All right, so it looks like this is the majority of our participants. So empowered seems to be the biggest descriptor. So thank you for the first word cloud. Now for our second and final word cloud, with one word, how would you describe the league, the 5-tier development program for men of color success? So whether you participated in Project Success, the leadership series, maybe the research opportunities, how do you describe the league? So to read some off, great, essential, good, helpful, brotherhood. That is definitely some of the goals that we had for the league when we're in the conceptual stages. Necessary, family, empowering, brotherhood, again, awesomeness, ambitious, resourceful, most definitely. Making sure that we teach you what resources and opportunities are on campus, and you can become that resource and opportunity for others, as Brian mentioned, for the future generations to come. Family, conduit, strong, enlightening, impactful, most definitely. So maybe a couple more seconds for our final submissions before we conclude the engagement piece. Yeah, I'm proud to say that y'all feel that brotherhood, because that's definitely what we try to cultivate with our team here and the league. So thank you all for participating. for our word cloud this afternoon. Thank you again.
Okay, so now we are going to take a look at another video that will give you an inside look at the learning of what students involved with the leadership series, project success, or attended anything else with the research methods took from this experience.
Something I learned is how to become a leader, not only for myself, but for the people I am a leader to in other organizations on campus.
I felt that this program really opened up my eyes, that I could really do anything if I really put my mind to it and apply the proper steps and tools.
There's a lot of things when it comes to being a great leader, right? There are a lot of fundamental things that we have to overcome within ourselves, our mind, our natural belief systems and things like that in order to conquer certain things and great characteristics within ourselves. One of the key things within the leadership series and Project Success was exactly that. How do you accomplish and overcome some of the negative things within our minds that we all naturally have and overcome those things and become great leaders?
So I think the number one thing that I really did learn from this program is that we are all leaders at the end of the day. Sometimes we just need that small push or that small guidance in the right direction.
I challenged myself by signing up for the leadership series program. And I usually stay in the back to let others shine, but this year I wanted to put my best foot forward to help other students learn from my experiences within the leadership series.
You're gonna make new friends, you're gonna come to new ideas, and you're gonna be able to craft, to take new challenges, but also the need to seek more. To always be thirsty of finding solutions, and honestly, stay in touch with all the people that is involved in this adventure.
One of the things that I did learn was there are different types of leaders. You have leaders that are appointed, such as a supervisor at a job will find somebody who they feel has leadership traits and appoint them in a leadership position. Then you have those who, as some people call, natural born leaders. Those who are already stepping up to be in a leadership role.
I felt that the experience was really uplifting. I enjoyed having other men of color not only teach me, but be a part of the program and getting to learn from one another. And some stuff that was really challenging. I think it's hard to think of your career in 5 or 10 years down the line, and it can be really scary. So for me, it was important to have those conversations.
At first, I thought that this program was too good to be true. But I now come to realize that these are great people. That these are people that will go beyond their own time to help you succeed. Project Success only wants the best for its scholars, and they will not settle for less.
I am the league.
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 I am league.
And we are here.
Wow, beautiful work. Just seeing those reflections, it reminds me of all the great moments, the one-on-one conversations, tapping each other, asking each other what workshop we were going to attend at the conferences. So time flies for sure, and it leaves, but not the league. The league is here. So now, you might be wondering, what's next for me? How can I contribute? How do I stay in the league? So we first want to applaud the enthusiasm and eager spirit you all invested in the program, and we will now direct these thoughts to Dean Dargan and Dr. B for next steps and vision for the program.
Dr. B.
Dr. B, you can go ahead and go first if you like.
Okay, sorry about that. I was stuck on the video trying to get back. Listen, these videos, sometimes you hear the story about a picture, speaking 1,000 words, right? But then when you see the video, you're thinking it's thousands upon thousands of words. So So thanks to all of you for allowing us to capture the sentiment, capture your thoughts, capture your feeling. I want to say this about the future for the league. We're going to transition into some summer research opportunities, undergraduate research opportunities for our students. We have interviewed right now about 10 students for the summer program, and we're looking for another 5 to 7 more students around undergraduate research this summer. And then we're going to transition in the fall, where we want to be up and going and have all of our components fully fleshed out. Leadership development, which you obviously know much about already. We want to make sure project success is up and going and stronger than ever. We want to capitalize on the second year experience that we're often calling the sophomore surge. So the freshmen are transitioning into a second year experience. We're going to continue to ramp up the internships and employment opportunities as one of the best practices. We know that students oftentimes need employment and or internships that are paid. And then the assessment piece. So we're going to have all 5 areas up and going. We feel really good about the students that are in the program. We're obviously going to have new transfer students and new freshmen coming in this fall. So this program is just going to continue to grow. Just so you guys know, very quick background, we've been recognized by the system and by some external funders that are on the video as the Big 5. We've been asked by the system, this 5 campuses has been selected to do what's called Go Deeper. Pomona, Fullerton, Cal State Dominguez, Sacramento State, and Bakersfield are the 5 campuses in the system that have been identified as the lead campuses for the system that's just further along in our work with our students. Some campuses are just getting started. They're just starting to ask questions, whereas we're moving into the next phase for our campus. So I just want to say it's good work because it's good students, and shouldn't say that, it's great students and great support around them. So we're looking forward to next year. This fall, we're going to continue to grow our program and celebrate our students. Dean Dargan.
Thank you, Dr. B. So I would be really short this time because Dr. B did a great job of summing things up. But one of the things I want to offer is a note of thanks and gratitude to all of you. This has been a wonderful academic year for us, although we have been challenged by COVID-19. Many of you had opportunities to go to a national conference and represent Cal Poly Pomona. We started this endeavor last year where we committed to 1 or 2 national conferences a year. And so last year we took our first group to Clemson University in South Carolina to the National Male of Color Summit. Rogelio and Reggie were so gracious to take a number of students to a conference in Florida this year as well. And we had other things planned, but unfortunately those plans got interrupted. So I want to encourage you all to continue to think about and continue to ask questions of us and say, if there's something you see that is important to you and that you think will help you grow and help others grow personally and professionally, to please let us know about those things so we can make sure that we find ways to support you in doing that. And so as soon as this is over, I'm looking forward to busting out of the house and getting out and re-engaging. So we just encourage you all to stay encouraged, continue to reach out to us if you need support, any kind of support, both personally and professionally. And sometimes in this space, sometimes we just need to vent, right? And we're here for that as well. So you know that you're not alone and you will never be alone as long as you're a part of the league. And once you sign up for the league and you're part of it, you're always a part of it, right? So from now and as they said, forevermore, right? As an alum, once you graduate, you're still a part of the league. So we want to just continue to encourage you, and we just look forward to continue to support you, honor you for who you are, and know that we will continue to be greater together. So thank you all for a great year, a great academic year, and we're looking forward to what's to come. Take care, everyone.
Perfect. Thank you, Ben and Dr. B. So now it is a great pleasure for me to introduce an additional guest speaker and sponsor who is going to talk to us about the power and investment of opportunities and resources like the League. Jai Phillips serves his community through the California Community Foundation as Program Officer for Youth Development. Jai's role is to change the trajectory of children and youth through a comprehensive approach that addresses unique community needs with an emphasis working with boys and men of color. Please join me in welcoming Jai Phillips.
Thank you. Yes, my name is Jai Phillips, and I am a program officer of youth development at the California Community Foundation. And I'm here representing on behalf of the BRIC in that ecosystem that Dr. Smith referenced. So my role as a program officer is to actually identify innovative programs and partner with dynamic leaders to provide solutions for some of Los Angeles County's most pressing challenges, for which we believe that Project Success is a great example. It is my distinct pleasure to share this moment with you all as we're all trying to do our part to social distance and maintain normalcy. So I'm happy to be here with you and very honored to have my first celebration virtually with you all. We at the California Community Foundation have been honored to support Project Success for several years, and we are excited by the next steps of what we know is a life-changing program for the young men of our community. We want to congratulate all the scholars, and especially those graduating this year. We know that you have worked very hard, and this has been an especially challenging year. As community leaders, we encourage young people to work hard, be patient, take smart risks, and to become lifelong learners. So I want to recognize Rogelio Contreras, a talented and dedicated leader. Rogelio was one of a group of hand-picked leaders who participated last year for a fellowship for our Young Men of Color Success Initiative. And I want to thank you for allowing us to be a part of your growth and your journey, Rogelio. And I'm going to be short, but in closing, I just really wanted to say, want to leave you with an anonymous quote. True vision sees not what you are, but what you can be. So be great every day and in every way. Congratulations to the class of 2020.
Thank you very much, Jai.
So at this time, before we conclude, we would like to give everyone the time to give a quick shout out to a peer, staff member, facilitator, faculty that you would like. This is open to everyone on this Zoom call. So it can be from something you saw today in this program. If you were involved in the program directly and want to give a shout out to a peer, a facilitator, a presenter, this is your chance. And again, keep it brief. We are on a time crunch. But I do want to give that time for anyone who would like to do that.
I want to give a quick shout out to Brother Ron Coley, who's on the screen. He's a part of our working group. What many of our students don't know is that he retired from the military, went to work in the UC system, retired from the UC Riverside just a year ago, and now instead of being at home with President Coley, he's on campus with us, working behind the scenes with the League and our Veterans Resource Center. I'm just saying, we got to give him some love because he could be at home watching TV. Instead, he's giving back to make sure our students have a great experience. We appreciate you. We love you, man. Thank you so much for what you're doing for this community.
Hoorah!
Well, Reggie, thank you very much for those comments, and I just want to give a shout out to all of the brothers here. I am just so impressed with you all, and I'm really sorry about this COVID thing, because I'm sorry that we didn't get a chance to go up to Arrowhead. I was looking forward to getting into the deep in the pool and to all of your personal business to figure out why you're doing what you're doing and what you're planning to do and what we're going to do to make that happen. Because see, I'm looking forward to it. When the president, when I retired, my vision was to, you know, as George Washington would say, sit by my my fig tree. And she said, "Yeah, that's cool for somebody else. What you got to do? You got 2 jobs to do. Your first job is you got to take care of all of these young men of color. You've got to get involved in that and figure out how you can help them follow a path similar to the path that you followed." And so what Reggie just talked about, those are some of the things that I have done, but there are many other things that I have done. There was someone that I was talking to earlier today that was reminding me that of a movie that they had seen and that they enjoyed, and it's a movie called The Green Book. And if you haven't seen The Green Book, I encourage you to look at it. And the reason that it came to mind, because I hadn't seen it for a long time, was because this Cal Poly student was referencing it, and I had to give them the context that she was actually talking to someone who had lived the Green Book experience. And so what I'm trying to tell you is that when you've lived as long as your president and me, and you've come from places that are challenging, as should I say, we have experiences that we can share with you, and that we are motivated to share with you that can help you navigate to another space. And so we want to be able to do that. The other group that she assigned me to work with is all of our veterans. So those are my 2 major projects, and that's what I'm doing to try to help. And I'm really excited about working with all of you, and I'm going to make it my business, and hopefully you will do likewise, for us to get to know each other personally, individually, because I would like to think that it would be something that I can add to you and you can add to me as you spending your time here at Cal Poly. I want to congratulate you for what you have accomplished this year, because like many of you, when I was your age, I wasn't down with this. I ain't joining. I'm going to go do my thing and just leave me alone. But I realized as I got past that experience that was the wrong attitude. And what I should have had is the attitude that you all are demonstrating by being involved. And the sooner you get involved, which is where you are right now, the further you can go. Because everybody on this call is now part of your network, and you are part of their network. And those are the things that really make a huge difference in our society. It's good enough to be smart. It's good enough to have credentials. But beyond that, you've got to have doors that open for you. Doors are opened by way of networks, and this is what you are creating here. So congratulations again, and I'm here for you.
We'll take maybe 1 or 2 more out there if there is anyone who would like to speak.
Hello. Is it my, yeah,
go ahead, Caesar.
My mic's working. All right. So, I'd like to shout out the entire Project Success team, and everyone, just in general, everyone in this call, because all of you are making it through despite the COVID-19 situation, doing your best, becoming leaders for the community, doing as much as you can, doing much more than many people would. And I think that's something that's really extremely commendable. In terms of people that I've personally worked with, I really want to shout out Rogelio, who's just helped me throughout the year with a bunch of stuff. I'm not sure if he's here, but the staff leader, Dr. Pettigrew, he's really helped me out with learning the proper rules of student conduct at Cal Poly. I really like to thank my kin group student, the amazing Kenneth Perkins, who's just amazingly good at what he does, and fostering a new mindset of determination within the youth. And I'd really like to thank my my 4-year California Promise Pledge advisor, Pedro Navarro. He's in this call, and I don't know if you can hear me, but thank you for everything that you've done.
I'm here, Cesar. I can hear you.
Oh, hey, what's up?
All right. So with that, I would be remiss if I couldn't say a few words myself. I would like to take this moment to say it has been a pleasure and honor to have created this curriculum for the Leadership Series. And I am truly humbled for all of you that trusted me and took a chance on this program. I strongly believe that what you learn through this program won't only help you for the future of work, but will transcend through what you do on your daily lives. I am very proud of every single one of you for sticking through it, for sticking through it to the end. Even though we had challenges here and there with COVID-19 and other stressors, you are all amazing, and you will all do amazing things.
Yes, and I would also like to echo Reggie's remarks and add that you're all capable of changing the world, but you don't have to overwhelm yourself. What means the world to one person varies to the next. So what is your world? What will be your contribution? As I shared with our rising sophomores last week, life is a paradox. Just because you don't have all the answers, it doesn't mean you cannot influence or make change. We're proud of each and every single one of you for taking the first of many steps, and we can't wait to see what the future holds. Thank you.
And so with that, we would like to thank everyone for taking the time to be with us this afternoon. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Wear your swag proudly. Focus on finals and final projects. Get those in. Make sure you do those now before deadlines. And take care. Be safe and practice good, healthy hygiene. Have a blessed day.
Thank you all. Till next time.